I think as a kid, and even when I was young, we had the Highveld derby when Lions and Titans still used to play against each other. So this makes it obviously a bit more. I know the crowds and everyone hypes everything up, so it's nice. Obviously you want to do well, but I think it's always nice to beat them on your home ground. That's always a good thing.
There is a big rivalry between the two sides. I think being at Wanderers and at Centurion, those two grounds are known for high-scoring matches, and I think coming from the local teams with Lions and Titans, the history that those two teams have, I think it is brewing to be quite a big game. I know even last year there was a big rivalry, and I think that's building on to become something that's going to be happening in the future. So yeah, I think it does push you. There's a sense of rivalry between the two sides and the grounds and the history between both franchises, and yeah, I'm quite excited to see what happens.
Always you're thinking about the big match against the team from Wanderers. In a fairly small area, there are a lot of fans that are split between the two teams. The rivalry almost increases. Of course, we want to make sure that we own that rivalry and that we come out on top. You know, it's probably the derby thing is probably more for the fans than actually for the players. Every game for us needs that extra push. Every game needs that. You want to get those points. So valuable points up for grabs is probably the most important thing in our minds. It's not about who the opposition are, but I know the fans would like to have the bragging rights.
I think derby games are always special. You know, I think the crowd get behind us. And obviously, because you're close, you get support from both teams in one stadium is quite special. And I think we're two teams that have our backs to the wall, so there will be something on that game. And you know, the whole tournament, I think what makes it such a good tournament is there's no weak sides really. So there will always be good cricket, but I think with a derby match, I think there's just that little bit more needle, and it mainly comes from the people watching as well. They all want their team to win, and a lot of them will see each other after the game because they live so close to each other, and everyone wants to have that upper hand.
Cool, my thoughts for the Highveld derby is it's always an exciting game. You know, home fans, you know, only being 40 minutes apart, you know, can travel, so it's always a full stadium. It's sort of old battle lines from rugby days, cricket days. So, you know, it's always a great one to be a part of, and, you know, there's often a packed stadium, as I say, because, you know, everyone can travel to it, and hopefully we come out on top.
Yeah, the Highveld derby is something that's new in terms of the SA20. Obviously, the 𝒂𝒄𝒊𝒄𝒌 derby is something that's gone on for many years between the Lions and the Titans. I haven't ever played one, but I've watched quite a few, and it's always an intense rivalry and great cricket gets played. And yeah, I think we've had some really good cricket against JSK last season, and I'm sure it'll be no different this season.
Many years ago, Northern Transvaal was part of Transvaal, and the rugby, for instance, split 75, no, it must be about 90 years ago now.
Oh, I can't
That's
remember.
but long ago they split, and I think that's how the rivalry started on the rugby side. And the cricket, I think, was the same, that the two sides were combined and eventually the split came. And whenever you get a split between two sides, it becomes great rivalry. I think that's basically how it started. I'm not from Pretoria. I was born, bred in Johannesburg. I moved to Pretoria when I was 18 years old, met this beautiful woman, and since then I've stayed here. But having a team in Pretoria, it's just a necessity. It's the only way to put it. It's just, you've got to have it, because it's most probably the best place to watch cricket. That's why the best crowd to be watching cricket with is over here in Pretoria. I've watched both here, Wanderers, Benoni, where else have I watched? TUT, wherever they've played provincial cricket, I've been there in the past couple of years. This is by far the best place to watch.